Aaron Phillips.
Of the 7 proposed changes to the city charter on the June ballot, which do you support, which do you oppose, and why?
I'm going to amend that only because of time, if that's okay, Aaron. Please select one of those 7 to discuss. Is that okay, Aaron?
Yeah.
Please select one of the 7 to discuss. And we're going to start with Mr. Bailey, is that right? You were first, Ed, right? Yeah, Mr. Bailey.
Sure. The one I would support is the Sustainability Commission. I think that we do have a competitive advantage here with our clean and green label and Emerald City status and all of the awards we've been given in that regard. And so I would encourage you all here tonight and those out watching to support the Sustainability Commission. Vote yes on that. And then the one that I wouldn't support, since I have some time, is the elections being moved up into the summertime. I don't think that that's the right thing to do for the election process. The more time you have, the more chance you have knocking on doors, as I've been out there knocking on over with Team Bailey, not just myself, 6,000 doors in this election. I think the grassroots door-to-door activity is the best way to meet candidates and to understand them and to see what's in their heart and what their vision is for Riverside.
Thank you. Mr. Benavides?
This is quite simple. It's the charter amendment for the city auditor. I co-authored the argument that our citizens will read in this year's ballot, and something that I'm very proud of. The way that came about, ladies and gentlemen, in my experience as a member of the charter, when we traveled throughout the city hosting the meetings on Monday nights, the outcry from the citizens was in regard to that specific premise. And I think it's important for us city officials, or soon to be a city official, to understand what the citizens want, and if they're convincing enough, to act on it. And that's why you will see my name as a co-signator on the amendment. The one that I would go against, ladies and gentlemen, not because I'm against sustainability, but our city's been terrific in sustainability issues, and I don't think it needs to be part of the charter.
Thank you. Ms. Chavez.
I would support the auditor one, the city auditor one, because Scott Barber can't be everywhere to explain everything. We have 7 wards. I mean, that city auditor could go to 7 wards and explain what is going on with our budget. So I would support that. And I would ask people, before you vote, look over those amendments, make sure you know what you're voting on, make sure about the costs, make sure you know what you're voting. That's all I.
Thank you. Mr. Gardner.
Thank you. I support all of them except for the one to extend or shorten the time between an election and a runoff. I think that gives a significant advantage to an incumbent. They have better fundraising capability. They have better name recognition. And I am co-author with the mayor of the ballot argument against that particular one.
Thank you, Mr. Gardner. Mr. Melendrez?
Well, I'm in support of all of the ones that are on the charter for the election. The one that I like the best, I've already talked about the auditor, but it is the sustainability, simply because it's a think tank that's going to help us plan our city for the future. When we think about sustainability, we are just not thinking about things like solar or public transportation or routes, but the way things are built, it'll add a new dimension to it. And again, it's primarily a think tank. It's one that we could look at to really to look at how we can build buildings better in the future, how we can build houses in the future, how we could plan our city the best. The one that I like the least, that I'm still in support of, is the one where we campaign and vote in August.
Well, if you like it the least, why are you supporting it? It presumably could cost the city more money because it's not consolidated with other elections.
I participated in that process where we had, but the difference was that when I was elected the first time, it was in November, and I had to campaign in the rain and the cold through Decembers and the holidays and get elected in January. So it wasn't easy campaigning and knocking on people's doors on Thanksgiving Day or Christmas morning, which I avoided, but it made it very difficult to campaign during that time period. This time period, I don't think is going to change. I don't think it's going to cost us more money. I think it costs the same amount of money, and you'll have a quicker result rather than extending it over a period of time.
Ms. Petrosello?
I support most of the charter amendments, but the one I really feel strongly about is having the auditor report to the council and not the city managers. There's inherent problems when your auditor is reporting to their boss, because as we've seen, there was a lot of spending going on, and that didn't work. What I would have liked to see put forth also, I attended the Charter Review Committee meetings, was a citizens audit committee. That didn't pass council and that didn't go forth. That would have been nice. I believe that if we had citizens and citizens were informed of how our finances work, we just have better transparency. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Atkinson?
Yeah, I think you have to go to the beginning of a Charter Review Commission and look at how the Charter Review Commission was put together. And they're part of the community. They're part of the diversity of this city. And there's a lot of integrity and responsibility that goes into that position to be a Charter Review Commissioner. They spend the hours with the public to go over what the perception is of the public. Perception is reality. When I was on the City Council on the previous Charter Review Commission, I was the one that made the motion to adopt all the recommendations of the Charter Review Commission. In this case here, there's a lot of time and effort that has been put into this, more time and effort than probably any one council person has put into it in the public testimony side of things. And so I would recommend to approve what the Charter Review Commission has proposed to put on the ballot.
All 7 measures.
All 7 measures. Yes, sir.
Okay.